This is a quick video on how to do live My Fashion Emporium sales. In order to get started, you have to get the inventory into our system first. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can do preloading of your items by simply going to your inventory and add inventory, add live inventory. And here you just add the items. You don't take pictures of them unless you want to, and then you would add the items normally. You just basically click the add button, select the style. You can get this information off the side of your box or your inventory that you've purchased on your invoice, and then you just go in here and add them. And the live ID is if you want to use your own live ID numbers. Once you assign a live ID, it cannot be used again until the live party's actually been over and the item has been sold. So if you just want the system to automatically assign an ID, just leave that blank and just click add. Once all your items have been added, you can actually start doing the sale. So we'll just add a couple of items here and just click add live items, and then that'll take you to the live item list, which shows you what you have added. Now the other option you can use is like if you're doing an open box type of sale, and you can add them as you actually do the sale, and we'll cover how that works too in just a little bit. If you have preloaded your items into the system using this method, what you want to do next is either print out the labels or have a way to assign the new item IDs that you have entered to the actual item itself. So the best way you could do this would be to print out your barcode labels by selecting the items here, and then just move down here and print the barcodes for the items that you've just added. And then you can either open the box and grab the labels for that style and size and stick it on to the packaging for that particular item, or however you're going to attach the barcode for that particular item. Or if you're doing an open box and you've pre-printed out the list, when you pull the item out of the box, you'll just grab a barcode label for that style and size and stick it on there, and then use that to show the customer and let them use that ID to put it in if you're not using custom IDs. Once you've completed all this, then the next step would be to actually add a live sale. So you would come here to the party menu, do live sale, add live MFE party. And this is quite similar to when you're doing your other parties too. So you can just do if you have Bless and you want to assign a specific party name for Bless, you can do that here. The start time, stop times, the time zone that the party's in, and the party type, which it can be one of two, which is the standard live party, which anybody can join, or you can do a private party, which would indicate that your customers will have to request access to be able to join. This section here is if you're using an external broadcasting software like Open Broadcasting Software, or OBS for short, type of application. If you're using that, you will need to have this information for this particular party. This link will remain the same always for our party. This goes to our streaming server, and then you have the stream key, which changes on a per party basis. So this way you'll be able to secure your stream. So you don't want to give this out to anybody, because if they have this, they'll be able to stream on your party. Party description or instructions can be placed here if you so choose, and that will show up on the top of the party, giving them instructions if you want to give them instructions how to claim, refund policy, etc. And then you would just add party, and we're going to say no to that. And now your party is ready to go. To give the customer the link to the party, you can simply just click the clipboard icon here and paste that in your Facebook group or however you're going to distribute that link, and that will be the link that your customers are going to be going to view the party. So if I just click the link, it takes me to the party, and here you can see that it just isn't quite active yet. So to actually start broadcasting your live feed, there's a couple of different ways to go about this, and I'll show you both ways. One is using, as I mentioned a short time ago, that you can use open broadcast software to actually send your broadcast that way using the stream key, or you can go live by simply coming down here, click the go live, and that takes you to the go live screen. On this screen here, you can select your video source. In the event that you have multiple cameras or multiple microphones, you can select which device will be used to broadcast your video and your audio. Down here, you can type messages in regards to just comments or reply to comments. Customer comments, when they post something, they'll show up in this section here. How long you've been broadcasting, which item number you're currently showing if you're using that feature, how many watchers you have, the number of claims you've gotten in the party, and the total sales. Here you'll put in your item IDs that you're showing. So as you're showing an item, you can punch this information in, and what that will do is it will actually show the item, that's the item ID, the style, size, and the cost for that item to the customer, and all the customer has to do is click the claim link or the claim button to claim the item, and the customer doesn't have to remember what number that you're currently showing. Capture and add item. This is the second way I was mentioning earlier about pre-adding the items. Here you can actually add items as you're taking them out of the box instead of preloading them. So what you would do is hold the item up to your camera, click the capture and add item, and then what you do is you pop-up box will show, which I'll demonstrate shortly, and you'll be able to select the style, size, and a different amount if you choose to use a different amount. And when you save that, it automatically adds the item to the system and will update the current shown item to the customers. The show overlay, when you use this feature here on the bottom, it will show the style, size, and the cost for the item. So again, the customer doesn't have to remember it. They can see it easily. This option here allows you to pick a color that for your text that's going to be overlaid onto the video. And to actually go live, you just click the go live button when you're ready to go live, and the streaming will start. Alright, now if I click the go live button, it'll take a moment for the stream to initialize, and the camera's turned off at the moment so it doesn't interfere with this tutorial. So once you've initiated the broadcast, your customers will see it using that live link you gave them. So currently it is broadcasting. Again, it's blank. If you don't enter the item IDs and just tell the customer what the item ID is, they can punch in the item ID here and click the claim button to claim that item. However, if you come back over here and you actually put the item ID in, so if we put in one of the items that was preloaded when we first started this, we can update that display. As you can see here, it's showing the overlay of what that item is, and this is where you can change the color to an alternate color depending on what you want to set that to. If you don't want to show that at all, you can just click on that to hide that information. Then what will happen is on the customer side, again, they'll see that item ID there, and as you can see, here's the item ID, the style, and how much it costs for that particular item that you are now showing. And if a customer wants to claim that item, all they got to do is click the claim button like so, and claim and continue shopping. And it'll take a moment. And now they have claimed that item, and that will also post a message on the post feed that that person has claimed that item, and then back on your page where you're broadcasting from, you will see that information as well. And then you can see here you got one claim and total sales of $38. When you're done, you can just simply hit the stop, and that will stop the live broadcast. That will stop the live broadcast on the person on your customer side, and then the system will convert your video, and then it will be available for playback. When the video plays back, the item numbers that are that you have entered at specific time intervals will also be displayed again. So all the customer has to do is just click on the claim button when that item appears, and it should be synced with the video. So when you display item 14930, it's going to show item 14930. Now to add items on the fly, I'll show you how that will work. So again, we're going to just do go live here, and then we'll bring up the customer's view. So now if you had an item that you're adding, that you just pulled out of the box and adding, you can hold the item up to the camera, click the capture and add, and if you like how it looks here, which is how you will identify the item later, then you just select the item and the size and location, if any, and the price and map price are or wholesale and the map price are automatically added, and then you would just click on add item, and now you see that the item has been added here, and it is now showing to the customer where they can claim it, and also is showing down here. And that's pretty much how that all works. There is another feature to this screen that I'll cover here in just a second, so we'll just go ahead and stop that. The other way you can broadcast is with Open Broadcast software, which is free software that you can download and install on your computer. This uses basically a flash stream that gets converted to HLS, which is a streaming protocol, and there are instructions in our help system to guide you through in regards to how to set this up. But essentially what you would do is you would just open up OBS and set it up, and you can set up OBS in multitudes of ways. You can have multiple sources showing on the same broadcast. So you can have your camera, you can have a web page, however you want to do that. So there's a lot to it. But what you would essentially do is come over here, and under the stream this section here is what you would actually get from when you created the party, and this would be the stream key that I mentioned that you shouldn't give out. You want to put that information in here, and then click OK, and then essentially you just click to start streaming. And once your CPU cycles come up, you can see that it's actually live and running, and now you can now you're actually streaming. And what will happen is your video on your customers, they'll see what you're doing here. However, with HLS, there is a 8 to 12 or so second delay depending on their connection, and that's just the nature of HLS, where if you broadcast using our broadcast page, you're actually using WebRTC, which is pretty much live and instant. So it's the better way of doing it. However, not all browsers or browser device combinations will work with WebRTC. So what will actually happen is on the devices or browsers that aren't supporting WebRTC, well, they'll fall back to HLS. So those that do fall back will have that slight delay between when you transmit and they actually receive it. So that's the only drawback with that. And when you're done, you just hit stop streaming, and your stream's done. Your customers are notified that the stream's over and that the video is being converted, so they can do a playback. Before I finish up here, there's one more item I want to cover, is for customers that are used to shopping on Facebook, where they claim items by posting a claim message. The system will also recognize that, and it can be done at any time. So if I go type in claim, and I'll type in the other pre-item that we loaded, and I post that, as you can see, it asks, if you want to continue or not. We'll go ahead and continue on with that. So you can see that it's been added here. And now if you go over to your pending sales, you'll see that I claimed these 2 items here. And now you can mark it as being done and invoice, send the invoice out. And that's pretty much how the live works on my Fashion Emporium. Thank you for your time.